Good morning, all you beautiful saint women. Welcome this morning and thank you for watching this video. If you've never watched before, my name is Tanya and I want to say welcome to Saint. For those of you who don't know, Saint is a women's ministry and prophetic as well, because I am prophetic. And just please stay and listen to this video, and I know that Holy Spirit is going to bless you this morning. So I want to say this, that many of us are still living from this place of striving and performance and wanting to make it happen and not being rooted and established in Jesus, in this beautiful place where the soil is healthy. Besides the river, he says, where you planted by the river, you bear fruit in and out of season. But it's not a effort of my effort. It is totally from this place of flowing, from drinking from Him, and this spring of life that flows from your innermost being. For those of you who've been listening to me for a while already will know that I talk about Proverbs 4 quite often, where it says, guard your heart with above everything else, with such diligence. And that word God, actually in the Greek, it is such an amazing, amazing word. It is the word terio, and it is a clear call for our necessity to renounce self-effort and rely on the enabling power of the Holy Spirit to obey the command continually. And so it's not out of our own. It is totally Holy Spirit that does this. And we can rely on God. We can ask on God. We can draw near to Him and trust that Holy Spirit will do this. And that guarding also speaks of you are guarding something of such value. And I want to say to you, take time for your soul, for your heart, for your thinking, for your will, and allow the gardener, God Himself, to come into these places and help you to remove the heavy rocks that have just started collecting in you and causing more damage than anything else. Whatever is happening here will show fruit, will bear fruit, whether it is beautiful or really ugly. My husband always says to my children, how they behave and what they say is like painting a picture. And whatever picture you want your life to show will happen the way that you think and you speak and you treat each other as a family in this house. And I just think that's an amazing way to think of what picture is your life showing. Do you want people to see Jesus? Do you want them to see the fruit of the Holy Spirit? And that can only happen when we take care of this very place where this wellspring flows from. And I can talk about this a lot at the the women's breakfast in Bloberg that I ministered at a while ago. We spent a lot of time speaking about this place where in the actual Greek it says that where the wellspring life begins, it says where supernatural life itself flows from. And how beautiful is that? That we must watch over this place, because this is where supernatural life itself flows from, where the maps of our life is shaped and formed out of. It has nothing to do with your age or your circumstances. It has to do with what is happening here. So this is so exciting, because Jesus and the Samaritan woman at the well, their whole conversation started off with water, where it's actually such a human thing to be thirsty. You want to go to the well to thirst, to quench your thirst. And that is the physical thing. But your spiritual thirstiness needs to be satisfied. And the only place where that can happen is with Yahweh Himself. So, whatever place your soul is in today, wherever you're finding yourself, even in your life today, just know right now, Holy Spirit, just make this so known to these women, is that it's not out of your own efforts or making it happen. It is totally reliant on Him and going to that source. It's key. And this word, thirsty, where Jesus said to her, if you drink from this living water, from my living water that I give you, you will never thirst again. Never. And that is the spiritual thirst that we have. In Psalm 63, it says, my soul thirsts for you in a dry and thirsty land. And you know what? If you find yourself today in a dry and thirsty land, I want to say to you, there is hope. In this dryness that you may be feeling right now, there is hope. In a drought, when there are animals in a savannah or where you've seen animals and gone to look at a safari drive that you've maybe done, and you'll see they all come around that pit, that water. But you know what? You will find that every pathway in that dry place will lead to the water. And this is the same in our lives. Our pathway is leading to that water because we are called to be water carriers ourselves so that we can pour out to others. But if this is not healthy, the water that we've been drinking, maybe you haven't been going to the right source and therefore you're not satisfied. Yes, maybe you've just been quenching your thirst, but that's not going to help. It needs to be the actual source. Where it says, where as the deer thirsts for water, that in the original Greek, that water is the original water source, which in our lives is Yahweh, God Himself. Come today to the actual water source so that your thirst will be satisfied. It's also an overwhelming desire to not be dry, to not experience and be in this dry place anymore. Maybe in your soul you feel so dry. You feel like nothing is happening. And I want to say, come, let Him soften that hardened soil. Let Him refresh you again. Let Him fill you up again so that this well can flow from here so easily, right? It shouldn't be a striving thing. And I just want to see here because something beautiful that I just wrote down here. Yes, that God drew my attention to is that where it says so that this wellspring can flow from here. Other translations, it says a gushing fountain or it springs forth from here. That actual Greek word, I can't pronounce it, but it's something like halomenu, Hallomenou. And it is a verb, which means an action word used for living things because it means jumping or leaping up. So imagine that leaping up of that wellspring from you. Don't you desire that so much? I mean, I love that. And that is the place that you live from. The seasons of your life is formed from. And this happens through the activity of the Holy Spirit. Wow, we should take time to just come and encounter Holy Spirit, to just say, Holy Spirit, I invite you. I thank you that you wanting to do this in my life, and I invite you to come and do this very thing. In John 7, in that whole chapter, it was during the Feast of Tabernacles, and a lot was going on. The disciples were saying to Jesus, why don't you come and make yourself known and open your mouth and do some miracles and teach? You're so amazing. We know who you are, and make it known to everyone else so that they can see that you are the Messiah. And Jesus said no. He said no, he's not going to do that. It's not time yet. But right at the end, on the very last day and very important day of the festival, he went into the temple. There was a lot of gossiping and criticism as usual, but he went into the temple and he started to preach. And part of this, as the Pharisees were asking him questions, he said, if anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink. And what is very prophetic of this whole picture is that in that time, the priest used to take water out of the pools in the temple because it was holy water that they would take back with them to their homes, their towns where they came from. But here's Jesus in this very prophetic moment and says, from now on, you can drink from me and you will never thirst again. You're not going to need that holy water anymore because I've come to change everything. We know that Jesus came to complete the law, and it went from that place of having to make sacrifices on the old covenant, and we know all of that, to this new place of the Holy Spirit, of this thing that we are talking about right now. And the whole picture of Jesus changing the water to wine, going from this thing of flesh and so boring water, but to this the most perfect wine that was served at the wedding, and the guests are the person whose house it was. He said, this is the best wine. You kept the best wine. The people said to him, you kept the best wine for last. This is the wine that takes time. And Jesus went totally out of time, and he did this incredible creative miracle where he created this perfect wine. And that is the same thing. It's going from this place of striving in the flesh to Holy Spirit driven life. So yes, you are meant to be a water carrier. The well in you that's meant to spring forth. And we spoke about that now, the leaping up that happens through the Holy Spirit. So I want to say this to you today. If you are in this place of being so thirsty, or your life is just so dry, nothing's happening, draw near to the source for you to never thirst again, and you will be satisfied. And let's come together with God. That word that says, my yoke is easy. It means come down, bend down your head, come underneath my yoke, and with me we're going to do life together. Imagine that. It is easy with him. And if you feel heavy burden today, I just want to pray that those burdens will lift as you draw near to the source of living waters. And I pray for an overwhelming desire to drink from him, to not be satisfied until we only come to him and we drink from him. So thank you for watching, as I said, but I want you to know that I'm going to continue speaking about this very important, valuable place, our innermost man, over the next few weeks. But I will also be putting out videos, and I'm thinking of doing a series of verses in the Bible. I'm getting a lot of questions from women about verses like, what does it mean to submit to your husband? And I know some of you, even just hearing that, immediately your reaction is like, oh no, or maybe a bit scared or fearful, because if you're in a healthy marriage, it looks very different to a toxic relationship. And we can even talk about those things. So many that I want to talk about, and I know God is asking me to do that. So if you want to not miss these videos, and I want to encourage you to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and just click on the little notification button so that you can know when the videos, I put them out. And sometimes there will be some lives. And so, I just want to encourage you to do that. And then for those of you who enjoyed this now and you feel like this has spoken to you, you're welcome to comment. And I'd love to hear how this has affected you, how Holy Spirit uses these times that we have together. Blessings to you for the week ahead, and I hope to see you very soon.